you're told that coaches ask 5 wives and 1 husband questions. If you came to me and said, oh, this is my brand, then there's going to be a session over there where I'm asking you a lot of questions, and all these questions will be geared towards finding out, what is this thing that is making your eyes light up? Why would people be infighting? Because everybody is doing their thing. And when you do your thing, you do it with such minimum effort because it's your thing. You do it with a lot of joy and a smile because it's your thing. There's no struggle. So I always believe that if everybody got their thing or found out what their thing was and contributed, we would live in a very beautiful world.
And you found your purpose. When you talk to that person and their face lights up, your face lit up.
Welcome to The Search for Wellness, a podcast dedicated to discovering the path to a healthier, more fulfilling life. Join us on this heartfelt journey as we share inspiring stories, insightful conversations, and practical tips to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
Welcome to The Search for Wellness.
Thank you.
Please, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. So my name is Hannah Giduke. I am a personal branding coach. I enjoy helping self-driven individuals and businesses to cultivate brands of influence, of impact, and of income. I am also a corporate business trainer that is in the learning and development areas or industry. I train in business-related courses or topics that will be leadership, governance, communication, and many more. I do run an outfit or a company called Inside Out Development that we have run for 12 years now. Inside Out Development is a training and consultancy firm that does training, coaching, and business consultancy.
Wow, you're a woman with so many talents. That's so amazing. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the coaching.
So personal branding coaching is something that came to me, this is the 8th year now, and it stemmed from that bit of training and consultancy. And I've been doing it for 8 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And what kind of clients do you see on a regular basis?
I like to say it's anybody who wants to spread some sort of a message and anybody who cares about their brand and they want to be very intentional about how they are perceived. They want to be very intentional about the value that they bring to the table and the offerings that they have. So that means that would be an individual, that would be a company, that would be a group, that would be an NGO. Anybody would fall in as my client if they have a product to offer, if they have value to offer, and they want that value to be known and they want to take their message out there.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's important for me to define what personal branding is.
Exactly.
So that now I can explain why the client would be coming to see me. Now, I like to believe that everybody does have a brand. There's some things people know about you. In fact, the thing I like to go into is say, hey, if you Google yourself, what will come up?
Interesting.
Right? If you ask people who you have worked with before or who are part of your family, you have interacted with them, and I ask them, who's Pooja? Right? For example, they will say something about you. That actually automatically becomes your brand. If I go to Google and I see things you have done before and I see what people are saying, I see articles you have been quoted in, I see projects you have been involved in, that automatically becomes the brand that I see of you. That already becomes the perception I have of you. Everybody has a brand. The journey of personal branding is now becoming intentional about the brand that you want people to say you have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that if the brand that you have had all along or the perception we've had of you all along is of a lazy person, for example, then personal branding would be to say, hey, I'm not lazy. And then do things that are not lazy and become not lazy so that now we start calling you not a lazy person. If the brand has been that you sell flowers, because that's probably what you talk about, that is what you have supplied people with, and you don't want to be known as a flower person anymore, and now you want to be known as a cake person, or you want to be known more as the cake person than the flower person, and the flower comes over here, personal branding is then saying, hey, I am the cake person. And then baking cakes, talking about cake, bringing us cake so that now we start seeing you as the cake person. So personal branding is the intentionality of saying, hey, this is who I am. This is the value I bring to the table. Yeah. And this is what I want you to know me as. So personal branding would be what? Your reputation. It would be your core values. It would be the thing that people know you for. It would be the value you provide. It would be your core values. It would be your identity. Yeah, that becomes your personal brand. But the best definition I've heard of personal branding is that it's about identifying your uniqueness and then exploiting that uniqueness in the service of other people. That's personal branding. Identifying your uniqueness and then exploiting it in the service of other people. So then, to come back to your question, the person coming to me for personal branding wants to identify what is my uniqueness. They want to find clarity on how they can start to brand themselves. That's a person who's going to come to me. So that would be somebody running a business, maybe running 5 businesses, and they're not quite sure which direction to take. That would be somebody in the university doing very many courses, someone saying you should be a doctor, and then they feel like they want to become a chef, another person saying over this, and then they're coming to me so that I can help them to find clarity on what direction they should be taking. That would be a company, starting out in business and maybe having very many offerings. And then they're coming to say, okay, Hannah, we've been doing this, it's good. We've been doing this, it's also good. But we feel like we are not there yet. We feel like there's something else. So again, I come in now to help you find the clarity of what is that something else? What is that bit that is your uniqueness? That now you can use and exploit to be able to serve the people that you want to serve. Make sense?
Amazing.
Yes.
No, and and how long would it take? So like now, if I came to you, like I'm just thinking to myself about myself, like as soon as you started speaking, I was like, personal brand. Okay, so what is my personal brand? I'm one of those, jack of all trade type of people. Like I feel like everything is my personal brand. So I'm like, okay, if I came to you and I said to you, okay, this is my personal brand, which is my studio. Okay, I've been running Beyond Body for 7, almost 8 years, and I'm a fitness instructor, a yoga teacher. That is for me my main personal brand. Then I have the podcast. Then I am a cancer coach on the side also. And then I'm also, guiding people, helping people understand nutrition, understand health a bit more better, using supplements and all of that. And I use my Instagram platform for that. Now, I don't know, I would be like, okay, how long would it take you to figure me out? Let's put it that way. Yeah.
So it's actually not going to be my work to figure you out.
Okay.
But the things you have said, they're all related.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing you said that is off the grid, that this is over here and that one is over there.
True.
So they're all related. So maybe what would happen if you came to me, we would talk about all these things, right? And as we talk about them, I'm asking you questions. That's what coaches do. Yeah. When you're trained to be a coach, you're told that coaches ask 5 wives and 1 husband questions. Yeah. To help somebody find clarity. Your whys, why, where, what, when, which, and then how. Yeah, they're called 5 wives and 1 husband questions. So coaches ask a lot of questions. So if you came to me and said, oh, this is my brand, this is my brand, this is my brand, then there's going to be a session over there where I'm asking you a lot of questions. When you answer this one, it leads us to talk about another one, And all these questions will be geared towards finding out, what is this thing that is making your eyes light up so much? Or what is this thing that is housing everything? Because that statement that you can say that actually crowds and houses all those things that you've talked about. Yeah, it's probably wellness. Yeah, you're probably passionate about providing wellness. You're probably passionate about helping people to discover their gifts and their talents, whatever it is. So it usually is housed in something. That's what we would be looking for. And that's what the questioning would help you to clarify what exactly is it. Because those other things are avenues. Yeah. Those other things are avenues to help you deliver that. Like if, for example, somebody asked you what your calling was, yeah, you would say probably my calling is to help people with their wellness. Yeah. But then you would go ahead to say how, because I would ask you how. Then you would go now to list the, fitness, meditation, this and that. And so they become avenues. So yeah.
Interesting. And so, okay, using me as the example, so we've figured out that the wellness is the main thing. And then we have all of this stuff that are avenues. How are you helping me next in making my brand me?
Yeah. So actually the first thing we do is just finding clarity. And for some people, that's all they need.
Okay.
To just find clarity that this is, hey, this is actually my thing. I've actually been thinking so much, and my thing is actually making people's hair. I've actually been thinking, but my thing is actually cooking. Yeah. So for most people, all they need is that clarity. Everything else can take care of itself after that. They can do everything else, but they must find that clarity. Yeah. So it's different for different people. One person could come, they find the clarity, they are on their journey. They're like, I have everything else in place. I know how to do everything else. I just wanted to know what is it I'm doing. Right? And then they go. There's another person who, once they find that clarity, they want to know, because there is stages. Like if you came to me for personal branding, the very first thing we do, and I call it the power program. It's a power program. Yeah. Power program has five modules. And the very first thing we do is the person and the purpose. And that is the clarity, where we have that conversation. Why are you doing this thing called fitness? What does it matter? Who are you serving? Yeah. What is the value you're giving them? Because it's not just exercising. What exactly are you trying to solve in their world? What problem do they have that you're trying to solve, right? So we're dealing with the person, the person, even just identifying who you are, your core values, why you are here, why you are made, why it is you who should be doing it and not another person, why you're doing it now, and not 10 years ago, so we're really just trying to dig in or to speak into the person and the purpose, because I am a believer in purpose, yeah? And then we're moving on to the next one to say, okay, what opportunities exist? So if the person, all they needed was the clarity of the person and the purpose, they're home and dry. They can go and do everything else or anything else that needs to be done. But there's another person who will come, and once we find the clarity, there's a message you want to take out as a brand. And then I will help them with the messaging. You see? So for that particular person, I will help them with crafting their message. I'll probably help them with their brand story. I'll probably help them with visibility, which is social media.
Yeah.
I'll probably help them with what else? Monetization, because they probably wouldn't even know how to make money with their brand. I'll help them with that. I'll help them with having a vision for their brand. Yeah. So again, it's different for different people. Some people, it's one session of clarity, they're good to go. For some people, it's one followed by another one, followed by another one, followed by another one, and you walk with them the journey.
Wow.
Yeah. Makes sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So if you're walking with somebody in that journey of theirs, you're actually also living that journey of theirs. And it must be such a fulfilling thing to do for people. How did you end up becoming a personal branding coach?
Oh, yeah, good question. How did I end up becoming a personal branding coach? So my mission in life, which probably is what someone would call a calling, I believe that my mission in life is to leave people better than I found them.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now, the way for people to become better is for them to do better. Now, the reason some people do better and others will look at them and we're wondering why you're not doing better is because some people don't even know how to do better. So I believe that you must know what to do in order for you to do better. Now, when I say my mission is to help to leave people better than I found them, the deeper mission is now to help them to know better. Yeah. And the knowing better is for them to find clarity. Because I have this belief, and I don't know if you believe the same, but I have this belief that the world is full of problems. It is full of problems. And that is why you hear people say things like, we want change in the government, isn't it? We want change in the way the young people are using social media. We want change in the way our roads are done. Yeah? We want change in governance. The reason you want change is because there's something that's not working well. So that means there's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, I am a believer that I'm a Christian. So I'm a believer that when we were created by God, He put us on this earth to till the land, or rather, to make the land good for us to live in. Now, what happens then is that everybody then has their uniqueness and their unique gifts. There's one person who was given this gift, another person was given the other gift. And those gifts are supposed to help us to serve each other so that now we can make the world a better place.
Yeah.
So when you say, I want to see a change in the world, yeah, another person wants to see another change in the world, it means the solutions are within us.
Completely.
Isn't it? That means you have a solution to a particular something. I have a solution to a particular something.
Yeah.
I am a big believer that it is a big puzzle. And a puzzle is a problem. There's a big puzzle, and that each and every one of us has a piece, a small piece
Of that puzzle.
To make the puzzle functional, to make the puzzle look like the globe it is, or the flower, when the kids are doing the puzzles, yeah? To make it a complete picture, you have your piece, I have my piece, another person has their piece. And I usually try to imagine a world where, can you just imagine a world where everybody knew what their piece was and brought it? Isn't it? Another person brought their puzzle, a piece of the puzzle. Another person did their small thing. That's what we call doing your small thing.
Yeah.
If everybody brought their puzzle, where would war come from? Where would competition, unhealthy competition, come from? Why would people be infighting? Isn't it? Because everybody is doing their thing. And when you do your thing, you do it with such minimum effort because it's your thing. You do it with a lot of joy and a smile because it's your thing. There's no struggle. So I always believe that if everybody got their thing or found out what their thing was and contributed, we would live in a very beautiful world. So, you see the way I'm building up this thing?
I love it.
So, how I got into personal branding is because this has been my message all along. I've been a corporate trainer for 18 years now, 17 years now. Whenever I would go to corporate training sessions, and I'm training on governance, I'm training on communication, I'm training on leadership, there's something I would always say, no, unknowingly, without knowing that I'm doing it. I would always, for example, so USIU is my alma mater. I went to USIU, so let me use them as an example.
Okay.
So if, for example, I went to train staff members in USIU or students in USIU, I would say, hey, your motto says education to take you places, isn't it? And then I would say, hey, this is really good for a group and for an institution, but I would say, can you put aside the group think for a minute and ask yourself, what are you doing to contribute to this very big motto of education to take you places? What is your place in it? So I said that so many times to different organizations, and I would ask, what is your part in that project?
Yeah.
What is your part in the mission of the organization? And whenever I would bring these things up, I would see people's faces light up, or people's faces just sunken a little bit because they're a bit sad. Because someone is thinking, wait a minute, I've actually been in this organization for 10 years. I do what I'm told to do.
Yeah.
I don't ask questions. I never contribute what I feel should be contributed. What am I even doing here? How am I waking up in the morning just to clock in the hours? And then I go back home as though you're just coasting through life without even thinking about it. And so because I started now challenging people in the organizations to also think as an individual, right? Instead of the group think, can you also think as an individual? What do I know to do as Hannah? What do I need to contribute as Hannah? Because you have a brain, number one. Number two, you've been placed here because you have something. You are not employed to come and fill the benches. You are not put in this project just because there has to be 10 women and 2 men. It's not gender balance.
Yeah.
That's not the reason they put you here. That's not the reason they put you. They put you here so that you can contribute.
Yeah.
So I would challenge people to contribute. Contribute as an individual. Now, what happened, believe it or not, people during tea time, so we're doing the session, it's tea time, someone would call me and say, Hannah, the thing you said during the session, I feel a bit lost. Can we have coffee? when we have coffee, they will say, okay, I've been in this organization for 8 years, for 5 years. I actually don't know what I'm doing here. And then we would talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I would ask them, okay, what is it you want to do?
Yeah.
What is it can you do? Yeah. Are there some things the boss says and you're thinking you want to do it differently? Now, without knowing it, I'm coaching people because I'm asking questions. And then I would find people leaving their jobs because they're thinking, oh my God, my time here is done. And I would find other people just transforming completely and start getting their voices to be heard in the organization. Now, because of doing that continuously, I was having a lot of free coffees with people, just coffee at Art Cafe at Java, just having coffee with people, coaching without knowing that I'm coaching. Then I saw somebody on Facebook 8 years ago. This is the 8th year. 8 years ago, I saw somebody on Facebook saying, oh, took a picture with me. And then they said, with my personal branding coach, Hannah. I was like, what is personal brand? I had never heard of personal branding.
Amazing.
No, I had never heard of what is personal branding?
Yeah.
So first is personal branding and coaching. I had seen people coaching, especially in the US. I'd never considered myself a coach. I'm a trainer, a business trainer. And so I said, wait, what is personal branding? And what is coaching? So now I went deep into coaching to find out what is coaching. Then I started Googling what is personal branding. And I realized that's what I had been
doing all along
to just help people to find their thing and to find clarity and to contribute their strengths and to contribute their uniquenesses. So when I found that out, I doubled down on it. So I, did a certification that time just online for coaching, just to understand what is coaching. And so that if the thing I've been doing is actually coaching, and if I've been doing it wrong, to know how to do it good. So that's how I became a coach. And then because I was called personal branding coach, I picked up personal branding coaching, and that became my title. And from then on, I started introducing myself as a personal branding coach, and I started charging people because as I'm doing my certification, the coaches are saying, yeah, we charge per hour, per what. So I started charging people. And then, of course, as I continued like that, and people started seeing the value of what I'm offering, I started getting comfortable with coaching. Now, eventually, I actually did a proper coaching certification that was not like from people like in the US. I actually did a proper coaching, a 6 month. It was a 6-month coaching with a local company in Kenya, which is accredited by International Coaching Federation, ICF. So now that's when I properly now said I'm an ICF coach. So how did I get into personal branding? Somebody mentioned it on Facebook, and it became my title, and I got in it. I enjoyed it, and I continue to enjoy it even now.
It's so interesting because you've just basically coached yourself into becoming a personal branding coach. That's literally all you've done.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And you found your purpose, I mean, like what you were saying earlier about when you talk to that person and their face lights up, your face lit up
100%.
Completely when you were talking and talking about your journey.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, completely. It was so lit up. It was like, yes, I'm a personal branding coach.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. This is what you want, and this is what you are giving somebody, which is such an amazing gift.
Yeah.
Like, I think to myself that in today's world, we need more personal branding coaches, which leads me to my next question. Do you train other people to become personal branding coaches?
Oh, wow. Never thought of that. Oh, okay. Because I believe people can coach themselves. Coaching is about asking yourself a lot of questions and finding clarity. But the reason a lot of people don't coach themselves and they're not able to coach themselves is because there's too much going on. Understand? Even just having that time to quiet down your mind and to ask yourself pertinent questions about your life, about your business, it becomes a tall order to even find the time to ask yourself those questions. That's why a lot of people don't coach themselves. Now that you've said, if I train personal branding coaches, I actually don't. Like, the thing I know for sure I've been working on for a minute now is to have a personal branding university.
Interesting.
Yeah, just a personal branding university, a virtual university where people come and learn about personal branding. So if that's gonna evolve to somebody now wanting to go and themselves becoming a coach, okay, I guess so. I had never thought about that. And the reason maybe I haven't thought about that, coaching is coaching.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be trained to be a personal branding coach. Once you're trained to be a coach, like the coaching certification I did here, 6-7 months, the coaching certification, you are trained the principles of coaching. Now, once you know how to coach, because the principles are the same, you're the one who decides, am I going to become a life coach? Am I becoming a business coach? Because I am a business coach, actually. That's a branch of my coaching. Am I becoming a business coach? Am I becoming a marriage coach? Am I becoming a transformational leadership coach? Am I becoming a retirement coach or a youth coach, wellness coach?
Yeah. Like I'm a health coach.
Health coach, yeah. So you choose what you want to become, or rather you niche down on what you want to coach on, but coaching is coaching. So maybe if I was to train people to become personal branding coaches, I think I would more train them to become coaches and not personal branding coaches.
Yeah, and then from that they can decide.
They can now pick personal branding or wellness as the thing that they want.
They want to.
Yeah.
Wow.
But thank you for saying that. I'd never even thought about that.
I think you would be really good. Yeah. As a mentor, I think a lot of people would look up to you if you did that.
Yeah.
Because when you spoke about it and when you just explained your journey, you know, the way your face lit up, the way you spoke about it, I think you would actually be amazing at that. I know that you give a lot of talks about stuff like this. Give me some examples of stuff that you have spoken about recently, some topics that have been like very on the surface, things that a lot of people like need to be addressed. Yeah.
The topics that I am called to speak mostly about are related to personal branding, and personal branding is very wide, very, very wide. And whenever I've coached people on personal branding, I've found that they usually stem from 3 things, which are also very, very wide. And these things are life. So to speak about life and purpose, so I like to say it's life, love, and money. Life, love, and money. Where you find that the things mostly I'll be speaking about, even if somebody called me for a personal branding session, would be around life, around people's gifts, their purpose, their core values, who they are, their identity, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, those kind of things. And then I would be speaking about love a lot, because personal branding is about building relationships and connections. And I have found that someone has come to me for personal branding and they're saying, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like, it's always, I'm not clear about what I want to offer. And then you realize, they come and say, I'm in too many things. I don't know which one to really specify on. And you realize that there's something else that is suffering. And most of the time is their relationships. It's their relationships with maybe their spouse, is their relationship with their people at work, their partners, their colleagues, the people they have businesses with. So love becomes something that is really connected with personal branding. And then the other thing is money. So I also talk a lot about money. And this is about monetizing, getting paid for your value. Now, as I talk about money, what else comes up? Public speaking, pitching, selling, presenting your product. So I find that mostly I would be talking about relationships. I would be talking about life and purpose. I would be talking about monetizing your brand. I would be talking about public speaking, how you can present your ideas.
I'm assuming that you worked more with women than with men when it comes to the personal branding. I feel like maybe women are more inclined to want to grow their personal brand.
Yeah.
Like in workspaces, what have you seen, especially in Kenya? I feel like we're opening up the space a bit more. We're becoming a bit more like accepting of women in workplaces, but I still feel like we're not there yet.
I don't even think it's a question of being accepted. And yes, I do work with more women than men, especially when it comes to the one-on-one.
Yeah.
I find that men go more in the groups. Like when I have a group coaching session, I'll find a lot of men. But when it's one-on-one, I work more with women than men. It's not even about being accepted. I think it's about being bold and getting their voices heard. And for sure, we have come a long way. And I think it's because of some people like you, people like me, and other people who are telling women to advocate for something.
Yeah.
Personal branding is about advocacy. It's about authenticity. It's about saying, hey, I believe so much in this agenda, and I'm going to speak boldly about it. It's not going to be popular. I'm not going to be applauded by everybody for it, but I'm going to go ahead and speak about it. So I think as you speak, as I speak, as other people speak also and hold all these conferences that we hold, I think women are becoming bold, to say, you know what, I want more money.
I deserve it.
I deserve more money. Let's talk about maternity leave. Let's talk about women getting better leadership positions. Let's talk about women getting paid, the same as men, if they're working on the same project and in the same position. So I guess it's less about being accepted, but more about women saying, we are here.
Yeah.
We have it, what it is that you need. We can offer the value. And so we're taking the seat at the table. So I guess in years past, it was about, let me wait if they're going to open up the space for me. Let me wait if they're going to bring for me a seat for me to sit on so that I can talk. But now it's becoming more and more about, I'm going to bring my own seats. I'm going to create my own space. And hey, if you don't accept me in the corporate, I'm going to get out. I'm going to start my own little outfit over here and I'm going to go double down on it and go heavy on it so that I can advocate for the thing that you didn't let me advocate for in the corporate or in the boardroom. So I think that is the trend that I like. And I think that is the trend that we are seeing now more often with women, just not in an arrogant way, because personal branding is not about arrogance.
Yeah.
It's about saying I have something to contribute and hey, I'm over here and I'm here contributing it because I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And because I'm solving a problem and because I'm filling a gap, and because I'm bringing something that is actually useful and valuable and needed. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I was just thinking that for us to feel valued and validated, we need to first believe that we deserve
100%.
that. I need to first believe that I deserve the same salary as that man because I'm doing the same work, if not more even, than that person. And when it comes to that puzzle piece, most of us don't even know we have that piece. And the fact that, just knowing I have this piece is just bringing my power back to me.
Yeah, 100%.
And I brought that power back to me. Now I can find out what I can do to bring value to this company or to this individual or to whatever I am putting my effort into. I can bring value by just knowing that I have that piece.
100%.
This is my piece.
100%. And that's the first step, just knowing. They say knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And I usually say knowledge is power, but guess what? Applied knowledge is the actual power.
Amazing.
Yeah, because knowing is good.
Yeah.
So you want to know first that this is my piece. But then my job also and my challenge is usually to say, now that you know, then can you go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
So that you do better because now you know better. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, knowledge is power. I always believed that was like, I've been given all this knowledge, but now I need to share this knowledge because otherwise I'm powerless
100%.
if I don't share it.
Yeah.
And that's the most important reason why we're here today.
100%. Yeah, you're right.
Is there something we haven't spoken about that you think that is very important?
Of course, there are very many things we haven't spoken about, but I think if we were going to talk about everything, we would take very many hours. But again, it's just important for people to know that they have something to contribute. Just what we've been saying, they have something to contribute. Sometimes I say that if you know what you should be contributing and you're not contributing it, then you better just shut up. You better just shut up about telling people what is going wrong. Like if you go on social media and you say how our young people in Kenya are behaving so badly on TikTok. Like you'll hear somebody say, these young people are behaving so badly on TikTok. I can't imagine. I can't believe they're coming and showing us nakedness. I can't imagine they're doing this. I can't imagine they're using this kind of words on TikTok. I can't imagine. So I usually say, okay, is there something you can do about it? If you can do something about it, then do something about it. If you know somebody who can do something about it, then ask them to do something about it, because we all need to bring this change. It's not just, oh, let's ask the government to do it. We're just leaving it in the hands of other people. And yet we're here, we're the ones living in this country. Yeah, so sometimes I'm saying, if you actually know what to do and you have the ability to do that thing and you're not doing it, then shut up. And don't even complain about the things that are not going right. And so the challenge is for everybody, again, I started by saying, let's imagine a world. I like to imagine a world where everybody is contributing their piece, where everybody is doing what they should do and what they're meant to be doing, and everybody is living their purpose. We would live in a very beautiful world. And so I think the challenge for everybody is to find what their thing is. Because the reason a lot of people struggle is because they're trying to fit into something that's not theirs. It's a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. And sometimes we force it for too long until it goes in and it looks like it actually worked. And then you live your life, you are making money, the money is coming in and everything, but you're so dissatisfied and frustrated because you actually did fit the square peg in a round hole. It didn't fully go in. So I think for everybody, the challenge is to just ask yourself, the thing you're doing today, is it your thing? How do you feel doing it? Are you solving a problem? When you see businesses starting, I like to say personal brands and businesses are built around three things. They're built first around a love story, then a backstory, and a gap. What does that mean? These are beautiful flowers, and I could say I love orange flowers. I have loved orange flowers since I was a little girl. My dad used to grow this kind of orange flower. By the way, what are they? Sunflowers?
No, they're marigolds. They're like a type of marigolds, yeah.
So then I could say, my dad used to grow marigolds. I used to love them. And because of that, I'm going to start a business for marigolds. That's a love story. I love the way they look, the way they smell, right? I could say, marigolds. I'm going to start a business in marigolds because the place I grew up, there were none. And I think they make the environment so beautiful. And because I really suffered without having marigolds where I grew up, I'm gonna start a business of marigolds so that everybody in the world can experience marigold. That's a backstory. That's from my story. Yeah, that's from my experience.
Yeah.
And that could be a beautiful story of triumph. It could also be a traumatic story.
This podcast was created to inspire and connect with people. If you are liking the content of this podcast, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and share this platform. Lots of love.
Businesses are formed around backstories that are traumatic. Yeah, someone starts doing something with health because they fell sick.
Yeah,
that's a personal story, right? That's a backstory. And then the other thing is a gap, where I have come here and I've found no marigolds at all. And I'm thinking people need a little marigold in their lives and in their living rooms. And I'm going to start a business of importing marigolds, right? So love story, backstory, and gap. The boldest brands that we admire that end up becoming enterprises are the ones that now do the three of them. Where your personal brand has a love story of passion. I am passionate about standing in front of people and speaking. I'm passionate about having this kind of conversations. I enjoy myself. Can you tell I'm enjoying myself this morning?
Of course.
Good. I enjoy myself. That's a love story. Yeah. And then I say, oh, wait a minute. It's not just that I'm enjoying it. I remember when I was in grade school, I would be asked to speak in front of people. And I would feel so good. It would make my day.
Yeah.
So guess what? Yeah, I want to be in front of people speaking and having conversations. It reminds me, there's a memory, there's an experience, there's a backstory to it. And because of that, I have decided I'll be going in front of people and speaking because I have a traumatic story about speaking.
Yeah.
That's a backstory. And then I say, hey, people need someone to speak to them. People want somebody to be a sounding board. People want somebody to have a conversation and coffee with. I want to be that person who fills the gap. Do you see now? I'm building my business around the three things.
Yeah.
And most people will get frustrated in business because they don't do the three things.
They don't, yeah.
They don't do the three things. Because the three things speak into influence, speak into impact, speak into income. What I started by saying.
Yeah.
The three things speak into influence, which is being a leader of some sort and influencing, speaking to impact, helping another person and serving, and speaking to income, because the minute you're solving a problem and filling a gap, there's money coming in.
Yeah.
There's something coming in which is an income. And so I do believe that there should be a challenge for everybody to really find deep in themselves what is that thing that has a love story, that has a backstory, and is actually a problem you can solve.
Yeah.
That's how you brand yourself, and that's how you create a business.
I love that. That's absolutely amazing. And I think that's something that I'm definitely going to look at.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll journal about it today also, because when it comes to my own personal brand, I think it's very similar. Like I was thinking about it. There is a backstory, there is a love story, and there is a purpose there that it's filling a gap.
Yeah.
And when you spoke about the fitting in, oftentimes we feel like we see somebody else do something, like somebody sees you and they say, okay, Hannah's a personal branding coach. She is absolutely amazing. She does this so well, but I think I could do it better. I think I could be a personal branding coach. That person doesn't realize that he's not going to fit in because he's only or she's only wanting to do it because Hannah's doing it. But if she was to find what actually she fits into, then she'd be far more better at that. But that is, I think, one of the biggest problems with human beings, right?
100%. And that's why that very first thing of passion and purpose is very, very important, even before you get into the other things.
Yeah.
Because you're finding yourself. You're getting to know, what are my giftings? I call it the design. What is your design? And design is an acronym. Drivers, experiences, interest, skills, gifts, nature. What is your design?
Yeah.
What is your 1 degree? I call it a 1 degree. 360 degrees you could go. What is your 1 degree? So I think that bit of just finding your person, finding yourself, the person inside of you, and finding your purpose is very important, because you could actually end up becoming a personal branding coach like Hannah, and don't say you can do it better. Just say you can do it.
Yeah.
Because I can do personal branding, you can do personal branding, but we're just doing differently.
Exactly.
Do you know why we do it differently? Because my love story is different from yours. My backstory, we didn't grow up in the same neighborhood. Very different from yours. The gap could be similar because maybe we're solving the same problem, sort of. But do you see how different we are? So you could still do personal branding, but don't say, I think I could do it better than Hannah. No, just say, this is my calling. I want to do personal branding, and I'm going to do it my way. And that is why authenticity in personal branding is the key word. Keyword, authenticity. If you ever go to a personal branding session and the person does not mention authenticity, just we've been conned over here. Just there's a problem, because nobody can ever talk about personal branding without mentioning authenticity.
Yeah.
Because authenticity comes from, what is your design? What are your strengths? What are your gifts? And we are all gifted very, very differently.
Completely.
Look similar, but different. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I love it. Authenticity. I think everything is driven by authenticity, though. If you're not authentic in what you are doing, you will never, ever, ever be fulfilled at all.
You feel like you're living in another person's skin.
Yeah, you feel like you're living a lie, right? Yeah. And do you really want to be living a lie? I don't think so.
And for how long can you putting forward the fake facade? You just can't. You can for a minute, but eventually the clothes become so heavy for you, you want to take them off. You understand? Because, and it's with everything. You see the wig I'm wearing a wig today.
It's beautiful.
Thank you very much. But these things are so like, it's not my hair.
Yeah.
So if it's not my hair, trust me, when I get to the house in the evening, I'm going to pull this thing off. Do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm trying to say is, this is fake hair. My kids call it fake hair.
Yeah.
It is fake hair. And you cannot have a fake something for so long. It's very, very uncomfortable. So unlike you, this is your hair.
Yeah.
So unlike you, who's going to go and just hold your hair back and sleep at night, Mimi, I cannot sleep with this wig on.
Yeah.
Because it is fake.
You won't be able to sleep.
No, I won't be able to sleep because it's not, I want to breathe.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same thing. If you put on a fake facade, and a fake front, and fake it and fake it and fake it, they say fake it till you make it, you'll actually never make it.
No.
And if you actually do make it, it's for a particular time, but then all the fakeness it's not even people who might notice. It's you. It's going to weigh you down.
Yeah.
You'll be thinking, oh my God, I need a breathing space. You're going inside, you're speaking to people about a subject that you're not passionate about. Then you go outside, you're like, oh my God, I need breathing space. Because you're actually saying things that are not coming from
The heart.
inside of you.
Yeah.
You understand? So again, fakeness is such a burden.
Yeah.
That if people knew it from earlier on, then they would be happier with themselves and just be comfortable with who they are, and also realize that there is no gift. I think this is a very important point to make, that to realize there is not a gift that is a bad gift. Does that make sense?
I love it.
Because the thing I've seen with the people that I've worked with, they want the fancy titles. Understand? They want the fancy professions. You know, they want the ones that look like more educated. You know, so they want to say, I'm a governance expert, because governance is like, oh, when I say governance, you know, people are going to clap for me and they're going to say, hey, you know, this person is learned.
Yeah.
Understand? This person has gone to school. Now, they miss out on a very beautiful gift and a very good opportunity to help others, because they're looking for a fancy title and for a fancy job they can do that is accepted by other people, or that they think would be more accepted by other people. And they think that if they say, I'm a hairdresser, they're going to look less educated, less than. Like, all I do is hair. And maybe they say, oh, I went and I did an MBA, and all I do is hair. You know, I do people's hair, I cut people's hair. So some people think that doing people's hair is less than. So they would rather toil all their lives being in corporate, doing corporate governance,
Even though that's not their calling.
even if it's not their calling,
Yeah.
because they want to be seen as, oh, you know, and that's a problem, because again, you need to dig into the purpose to see why do they think hair is this, and you understand, again, that comes from deep inside. But I like to say, there's not a gift that is a bad gift. People make money from toothpicks. People build their brands around a toothpick, and producing toothpicks, and that's a brand, and it does very well. I know people who've built a brand around hair, making hair. They are satisfied. They've taken their kids to college. They've done amazing things.
Absolutely.
And they're good.
And they're happy.
Very happy. You know, another person who's taken photography has taken it to a different level. Another person who's taken making baskets like this ones, arranging flowers, you know, and they've taken it to the next level. So again, I think the challenge is for people to just find themselves. They stop hiding behind a mask of, I want to look a certain way, I want to look a certain way. You know, just to remove the thing that is inside of them. That is the only way they'll find true fulfillment and be able to thrive, finding their true selves.
I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
You know, the saying, fake it till you make it. I actually think it's fake it till you become it. You know,
till you become it.
So you could fake it, but you need to fake it till you become it.
What you're doing then, if you're faking it till you become it, it means there's some work you're doing.
Yes.
So meaning, if, for example, you want to be a yoga teacher, I wouldn't even call it faking. But if you want to become a yoga teacher and you're not yet, what maybe I hear you say is, yes, you can start dressing like one and speaking like one. But as you do that, and we know you as the yoga teacher, you better make sure you're putting in hours to learn how to do yoga rings.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
So that as you become it, you've already been doing some background work.
Yeah.
So that once you get on the other side and become it, you don't start talking about imposter syndrome, because you're not an imposter now.
You're not, exactly. You might have started off as an imposter.
Yes.
And maybe you saw somebody and said, okay, I want to become a yoga teacher because she's amazing and I want to be like that.
Yeah.
And you have no idea. You cannot even touch your toes.
Yeah.
But then you put in the 200 hours. You put in the 500 hours of the teacher training. Fake it till you become it. And then you become that yoga teacher that you always desired to become.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fake it till you become it.
Yeah.
What is a book that you would recommend somebody highly read? Like something, a book that you would say.
I usually don't recommend books, and I'll tell you why. Whenever I'm asked to recommend a book, I'm always thinking, what is the person looking to learn? Because if you go to Textbook Center right now, there are so many business books. There are so many self-help. Nowadays, we call them shelf-help.
Shelf-help books. I love it.
Because you could have so many on the shelf, but they're just on the shelf. You actually don't read them. Yeah. So so that it doesn't become shelf-help, usually my question is, what is it you want to learn?
Yeah.
What journey are you on? What are you exploring? What are you looking for? And then I'm happy to say, in that case, I know a book. So usually, because you can have 10 books and really they're not helping you because they're not really, you're not in the season of what the book is trying to teach or is trying to talk about. But having said that, there is a book that I read recently because it goes with what I talk about, and it's called Great by Choice. I'm sorry, I don't remember the author.
No worries.
It's a blue book, Great by Choice.
Okay, I'll find it.
Great by Choice. And the reason for that is, now that is just generally, anybody can read that. And the reason is you become great by choice. Every day you wake up, you have choices to make.
Yeah.
So you can choose to go that direction, to go that direction. You can choose to complain the whole day. You can choose to just sit on that couch the whole day. You can choose. And you can also choose to get up and go and make something happen. And so the book is about companies and people who, two companies have been faced with the same problem. One company has gone down, same problem, same situation, same environment.
Okay.
And one company has chosen to become great in that industry. Two people have been faced with the same situation. Maybe they're even siblings. Yeah. One person has decided to wallow in their pain and to get into depression and do nothing about it. And the other person has chosen to see the glass as half full and has decided to do something about it. And when they've done something about it, something good has come out of it, or something has come out of it. So again, I think that's a book for anybody and everybody to read, so that to know the relation between the choices you make and how great you become.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have a look at it for sure also.
Yeah, please do.
Anything you'd like to ask me?
Why do you do what you do?
I'm very passionate about teaching. So I was recently in Mexico and I went on a meditation retreat. And on my way back, I got really sick. I'd never been this sick before in my life. And only thing I really missed was working out, was teaching, was exercising. Every day I woke up and I said, oh, I just can't wait to go and teach again. I just can't wait to go and teach again. And on Saturday, I taught my first class. I barely got through it. I was still huffing and puffing and coughing and struggled to even breathe. But the joy that I get and the fulfillment that I get at the end of the class, we do something called plank and thanks. So everyone holds a plank and we go around saying something we're thankful for out loud. And everybody always, at least one or two people always thank me for the class or for my energy or for the efforts that I put in. I always thank everybody for the community that I built and for their presence, because my cup gets filled only because their cup gets filled. This is why I do what I do. And I think that goes with everything that I do, is that is it filling my cup? That's well and good, but it should also be filling the other person's cup.
Thank you for sharing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I think this is what we're talking about. Bring your piece, bring your little thing. Let's all work together and bring the change that we all want to see.
Exactly.
In ourselves, in our homes, in our families, in the country, in the world.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One podcast at a time.
One podcast at a time. One podcast at a time. Yeah.
Where can people find you, Hannah?
So social media, this is a digital age. Please find me on social media. You'll find me on Instagram as Hannah Githuke. You'll find me on LinkedIn, Facebook as well. I also started doing TikToks here and there. So if you Google me, you will find me, Hannah Githuke. But also we are located at the UN Avenue.
Okay.
Yes, Warwick Center. Our office is called Inside Out Development. So for anybody who would like to pay us a visit, we are always happy to receive guests.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I will add all of this to the show notes also, so that people can just literally click your Instagram account and your website and whatever information that they want to.
That would be very helpful.
But this was absolutely amazing. I'm so happy that we managed to do this. I feel like you are a dictionary of knowledge.
Oh.
And I'm hoping that, again, I can interview you soon again in the future with more and more stuff. Like you said, we have so much more we can talk about. Thank you so much for today.
And thank you for having me. I'm happy to share. And thank you for introducing me to your community.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.